Man, my man called me and he like, Reed, what's going on? I said, man, these DFNs. He said, DFNs? What the fuck is that? I said, these fucking niggas. I call them DFNs. Because sometimes I don't like saying niggas around white people. I said, it's this dude. I do his tag work. I've been doing his tag work for years. And I said, he a big motherfucker. He like 6'5", maybe close to 300 pounds. Big young boy, always running around like he a killer, like he tough. So a couple years ago, I did some tag work for him. And he tried to short me. And then he tried to swole up on me. And I told him, I said, man, don't nobody give a fuck about all that old gorilla tough shit with you, man. I said, you gonna put yourself in the fucking grave. All OG, this and that. So that was the end of that. I had left him alone. He had called me, Reed, I need some tag work. Because really, he was like a middleman making money off me, which I was cool with, but I wasn't for his bullshit. So one time he called me, he like, oh, Reed, I got some tag work. And I was like, man, your money ain't no good here. Take that shit somewhere else. Oh, man, this and that. I said, no, because you got too much shit with you. And I said, me and you ain't going to go through that. So I don't hear from him for maybe about a year and a half. So he called me from a number I wasn't familiar with. Yo, I need some tag work. And I didn't know it was him. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it for you. So when I meet up with him, it's him. I'm like, oh, this dizzy motherfucker. But he's sitting in the car. But he real meek and like, yo, what's up? Like real, like low key. I said, man, what's up? You get your shit together? He said, yeah. He said, man, I've been fucked up. I said, what you mean? And he showed me his arm, his right arm. He said he got shot up. And either when they shot him up, the car was on fire. So part of his body got burned. So his right arm is fucked up and his right leg. And so I said, see, I tried to tell you that. You keep thinking because you a big motherfucking goon that means something. I said, it'll be a nigga smaller than Kevin Hart that'll slit your fucking throat. And I kind of went off on him a little bit and he was starting to cry. And I was like, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to go hard on you. But I tried to tell you, youngin'. So we go back and forth with that. So I'm telling this story to my boy that's a prison guard up CFCF. So me and him talking, and I said, these niggas think they could beat the streets and think that these streets give a fuck about them. So he goes on to tell me, he was like, did you hear about the boy down Temple that got killed? The white boy they killed and took his phone and carjacked the car? I said, no. He said, damn, Reed, you ain't hear about that? I said, dog, really, I don't even watch TV or watch the news. I'm off that shit. They lie too much. He said it was a young boy that went down. He was down there somewhere around Temple. They went to rob the boy. The boy, all he had was a fucking phone. They take the phone, they shoot the boy, kill the boy, and then they go try to carjack somebody. I said, damn, I ain't know about that. He said, yeah, man. He said, but this is the crazy part. He said, because he a guard up CFCF. He said, don't you know before this happened, now it's January, this happened, and he was talking about December. He said, don't you know that same motherfucker that was, he was up in the jail. He said one day he come on the job and the girl that worked before him, the prison guard, was like, look, cell C7, whatever. I kept the lights off in there because it's a motherfucker in there getting on my nerves. He called me all kind of hoes and bitches. And my man was like, yo, she a sweetheart. She don't even fuck with nobody. So he said, all right, I'm going to keep an eye on it. So he went past the cell counting. And the guy was like, yo, man, cut the light on or whatever. And he said, he sat there for damn near 5 minutes and explaining to them, look, whatever y'all in jail for, y'all in jail, not us. And y'all not going to come in here and tell us what the fuck to do and run our blood pressure up. So he said the guy chilled out and he went on about his business. So he said a couple hours later, he went and was doing his count. And he walked past the cell and the same guy was standing at the cell door talking about, you ugly. He said, what? But he was doing his count, so he kept going. So he came back to the cell and said, what the fuck, is you a faggot? What man says another man is ugly? And he said, the young boy was talking shit, and he was like, look, this is what I'm gonna do. When I finish my count, I'm gonna crack your motherfucking cell door open. And let's see if you really all you say you are, you little bitch ass nigga. So after he did his count, he cracked the door open, and the guy was talking about, CO, lock the door like a bitch, right? And he was like, he said he was sounding them in front of everybody. Look, this bitch ass nigga talking all this shit. Now he want the door locked. So once he locked the door, he was kind of off him, because you know, them niggas always be in jail selling wolf tickets. You know what I mean? So he said, like a day later, whatever, he walked past the cell, and that same boy was like, you better watch yourself. If I see you out in the street, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. Because he had chumped him. So he was like, pussy, you ain't gonna do nothing. So I guess later on that day or whatever, he go on break. When he come back, the same guy was in pill line. So I guess he's on medication. And the other guard was like, you know, C7, he in the pill line. He was like, what? And he said he crept up behind that nigga and said, well, what the fuck you got to say? Was all in his face. He said the nigga had his tail in his ass. Like, man, I ain't say nothing to you. And he went back in the cell. So then I guess towards the end of December, going into the new year, Larry Krasner, the district attorney, was lowering people bail to get him out of jail, and they lowered this guy bail to where I think his people only had to pay like a stack to get him out. He got out. I think he said he got out December 31st, like the day before New Year's, something around that time. He said, Reed, don't you know this dizzy motherfucker is the one that killed that Temple student? I said, no. He said, and the crazy thing, he had threatened me, and he said, normally we don't do this. He said, but I made a notation of it, and he said, I made sure I had an image of his fucking face. Because he said, if I see this pussy out in the street, he said, Reed, I've been doing this shit damn near 20 years. He said, I really wanted to strangle that young boy. I said, what? I said, you can't let them niggas. He said, no, this nigga was special with the bullshit. And he said when he, I guess this must have happened a couple of days ago. He seen the news, and he seen the same derelict that he was fucking arguing with was the one that killed that fucking young boy and carjacked that car. And he said the crazy thing was them fucking crackers caught him within 2 hours. And he said within a fucking 10 hours, he was right back up at CFCF, laying on the floor in R&D, where they bring you in at when you first come off the streets, talking about he need his medication. And I said, man, these niggas is dead, man. The part we don't understand about mental health is that these niggas be crying out for help, but they want to take their frustrations out on the wrong people. He said, Reed, I swear it took everything for me to not go in that R&D cell, because he said the guy was laying on the floor like acting like he was asleep or something. He said, I just wanted to go in there and just strangle him and fucking just take him out of his misery. Because I guess whoever the young boy is, they say he got a long rap sheet. But I'm saying that to say, you know, this is an everyday occurrence in the hood. And I was just telling my other boy, he was telling me about the boy that was running around. I guess the boy that body slammed the security that was online or something, how he got all hit up and how he was running around acting like he was a goon. And I was saying, man, I ain't seen, not yet, I'm in my fucking 50s. I ain't seen a motherfucker yet that thought he was a goon beat these fucking streets. They get them all the time. All of them, sir. All of them, miss. You can't beat these streets. Because I was telling them about the boy that got shot up and burned. I said, dog, he had me so mad that I keep a hatchet in my car. A hatchet, like on one end is the hatchet, and on the other end is like a metal block. I said I was so close to hitting that nigga in his head about $20 one day, and I had to catch myself. Because I said he didn't even know. He left himself open for attack because he was talking fly, then he turned his head. He don't know. He would have turned around and his fucking whole wig would have been split. But I had to catch myself, like Reed. Chill out, and somebody gonna get him, and lo and behold. So I'm saying that to say, avoid these crash test dummies. Do what you need to do, because eventually the streets is gonna get them. And with that said, Watch your back, and truly may the force be with you.